Friends, subscribers, and all you YouTubers out there, and to all the people of the world, I strongly recommend you watch this video all the way to the end. What I'm showing you here is what I originally believed was an alien spaceport. It's not a crater. There's no entrance to a thing. There's no real blow up. As you can see, it looks like it's protected. The building beside it, right in front of it, is basically has a wall, and it looks like it's inside some kind of a special device to protect the town. I believe this town has been built up wholly and solely to protect this spacecraft. I also believe this is somewhere in the UK. Why? Because if you click on the link to JohnLenardWalson's video, I have been trying to get a copy of the image into this video, but I haven't, at this stage I haven't got it, but I've already actually been scooped on the next part of this video, which I'll show you in a moment. But as you can see, this craft here, it is a craft in that thing, and that town is specially being built for this damn thing, I believe, or they've built this, they've done a deal or whatever with this alien race, or I don't know, I can't tell you. Because whatever this is not just on Earth, by the way. You're going to see that in a minute. The reason why, now if you look at the ship in JohnLenardWalson's video, you'll see the back part of it is very similar to the back part of this craft. I believe the light is basically it generating ready to fly. And whatever that ring type thing is on the back of it, I believe that to be part of its propulsion system. Yes, part of its propulsion system. Why? Because after looking at the ship, now when you look at the JohnLenardWalson video that I've got in there, it's around 3 minutes 30 into his video. It's the only way I can get you to see this video. I'm going to put a direct link to his video. It's in his latest Star Wars video. This craft is over London, UK, which makes me believe that the reason why it's been sighted over London is because this is somewhere within the UK, or definitely within Europe. The type of housing, looking at that type of housing in there, that to me says England, but the cluster of it, the way it's been clustered together, very unusual. It's sort of, but I suppose that could be how the Poms do it, but to here, yeah, that style of housing is definitely European. It's not, definitely not in Australia. It's too green to be in Australia, and the type of housing would be spotted by anybody travelling through the town. I believe this cavity in the ground, and I say cavity because I believe it's being built to protect this craft, and I believe that everybody in this town is in on it, full stop. If anybody knows those mountains, for God's sake, let me know, because the person that sent me the tape sent it to me in confidence. I've seen it once before on the net, and basically then it was actually sent to us here at the New South Wales UFO hotline. Originally I thought it was Australia until I saw the housing in it, but after seeing the craft I just said, yeah, it's spaceport, straight up. To me, because there's no impact trail of the craft or anything like that. I've studied the back footage behind it. I've really got in there and looked at it, and there's still just good farmland behind it. What you're seeing there coming off it is not just heat. That is light being generated, and it's basically being reflected up. And I believe this is how they take off. It's the walls that are on there. Basically there to protect the craft. As you can see, that's After Effects. That's how I blew the image up so that everybody could actually see it. I used Cam Studio to film the image while I was doing it, so you can see I wasn't altering the video in any way, but the first part of this video was that original footage. As you can see here now, all I'm doing is just blowing it up so you can actually see the craft. Why? Because I wanted to check out if it was a spacecraft. Now look at that back section. That's why I think that's got something to do now with the propulsion system. The shape of it is very important now, because after going through some NASA images, which by the way I have been scooped, someone else has now brought the NASA image to the fold. Someone else has actually scooped me on it. I had actually found it, but someone else has put out a video, found it as well. Now that we're getting more access to all these images, it sort of, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Someone, bound scooped me on the image, so what? But they didn't scoop me on the connection. Now, as I was talking to the JohnLenardWalson image, the reason why is because I believe this is the same craft in 3 minutes 30 into John Leonard's Star Wars video. Now, the thing is, why? Because I've seen it again. And to me, this is definitely a spaceport. And I'm going to say it loud, and I'm going to shout into the bloody microphone. It's a spaceport. It's an alien spaceport. Or if it's human, shit, we've advanced. Our technology is so far advanced. Look at the shape of this. Now, the shape is very important. Why? Because here it is on the bloody moon. The same damn craft on the moon. Now, this is that's a negative image so that I can get a bit more shape into it and everything. And that's actually put out by NASA. And I'll put the links to both these images on NASA. There's about 5 images with this craft on it. Now, that craft, I believe they are supporting buildings to this craft. And to me, I think these could be all over the bloody moon. It's just that it was just happened to be in the right spot at the right time and had been landed. Now, see what I mean about that? Sorry, when we zoom back into it. When I talk about that is being part of the propulsion, is because that ring now is down lower. And I believe they use that ring to actually propel this craft. And that's most probably how it is in the landed position, and why it is an upward position in the Earth video is because they're preparing to take off. Now, as I said, if you go to the JohnLenardWalson video, his Star Wars video, the link is in the bottom of this, in my video. It's about 3 minutes 30 into his video. And the craft in this video is basically, I'm telling you now, it's the same damn craft, just as another angle, and the propulsion ring is in a different spot. Now, even if it wasn't a spacecraft on the moon, right, it would have to be a completely built structure. There is no way that is a natural formation, right? But strange thing is, here's the damn thing on Earth. That's the same damn thing. It's just in a heated spot, ready to take off. Or it's just landed. One of the two. It is either just landed or it's ready to take off. Now, in the unnegative image of the thing, it's extremely bright as well. That's why I had to put it over to the negative version of it. Why did they take a negative version of it in NASA? Why? For the same reason. It was too bright. They wanted to see what the damn thing looked like. Now, negative tends to pick up a bit more information, so they took a negative shot. And in the shots, it's one of the few ones in this area on NASA that's taken in a negative image. Why? Because they've seen the same damn thing. The reason why they took these photos. Now, that's me examining the back area. As you can see, it's just farmland. It's just farmland. I believe it's made to look like farmland. 10 to 1, they most probably put some kind of a dome over this thing or whatever, or some sort of a camouflage. But as you can see by that, that is definitely a built structure. And I say built. That is not something that has crash landed, folks. That has been built for this object. And this object alone has been built for no other reason. They are walls. They are not crater walls. They are walls. There is no lead up, as you can see in the background, after you get past the heat and everything and the buildings in the background. And I say buildings, there's farmland again. And yet look at that ring. That ring, I believe, is very important. Why? Okay, that ring could be the same ring that's at the top, it's just, it may have a secondary ring underneath, which on the other one in the other image you'll see in a minute. And that could just be how it looks like when it's extremely lit from a different angle, because now we're looking at it from above. We're not looking at it from the side. This time we're looking at that same craft from above. Right, now this is the first one that was found. And I truly believe this is a spaceport. Now, it could be here in Australia. It could be in any country. I don't know. The strange thing is, it was sent to me here at the New South Wales UFO hotline. This is one of the few images that I've ever produced that has been sent to me on the UFO hotline. I have, as I said, I have seen it on the net as well, but I never took much notice of it because it sort of, I didn't know if it was real or whatever. But when it was sent to me, and I was sent the original version, that's why I can do what I'm doing with this, is because I have such a high quality version of that. Now, see how it's got a ring at that ring bit at the top, and then there's another ring down the base of it? That ring could be a movable ring. And yeah, as I said, now that's the negative image that I'm zooming in on. I don't know why. I think I hit the wrong button when I was zooming in on it. But there are definitely two rings on that craft, and it has that pointed section on it. And I think what we're looking at there is more at a backwards angle of the same craft. Now, when you go and look at the JohnLenardWalson, bring them up on two separate screens. Stop the John Leonard film, stop mine. Have a look at these craft. You'll see that they're the same craft. And yeah, John, I waited as long as I could for permission to use your image, and you never got back to me. So if you do give me permission, John, I would basically love to do a secondary video on this. But I've had to put this up because I've just seen that someone has scooped me on this particular image. They found the positive image, but they haven't found the negative image. But the thing is, that is definitely a spacecraft, folks. There's no other two words about it. Anybody that says that's not a spacecraft doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Here it is. It's on the moon, and it's on bloody Earth. The same damn craft. And you can tell it's the same damn craft. You've only got to look at it. There it is there. There it is again. Okay? We're looking at the heated up version here on the Earth. And there's a town supporting this. Notice how there's a big main road that goes up to that crater. It leads straight to the crater, nowhere else. It doesn't go any, it goes to that building, sorry. It looks like a wall fence, and they could be, those two buildings in front of it, in that front of the big green thing, could be a security gate. Yes, I believe that our military even could be involved in this. That craft, that is the same craft that's been seen over Germany. And again, I tried to get permission to use that image, but the guy wouldn't let me use his image. But I don't know why, because here I am, I've got the evidence here. You'll see the UFO footage over Germany. It's the same damn craft. So this is what I mean. This could be in Europe even, but I don't think it is. I actually think this is in London, because this craft is, as I said, JohnLenardWalson has discovered it and taken a photo of it over London. So basically, okay, well, to me that says more than likely this thing is in England. They're looking at the shape of the buildings. They look very English to me. And I concentrated on those buildings for a reason, because I'm trying to work out where the hell this thing was. But it was in the thing. I've been researching this for some time, folks, and this one has had my thing, and I know, yes, this is the second video on it, but the reason why it's the second video is because it's that rear section of the video there that you can see that ring type thing, and then the rest of the craft. And now if you were to spin that around into the direction that it is in the moon video, you would say that's the same craft. Now there's even a pointed section at the front, looks like. Now to me, this is an intergalactic craft. This is a support station here on Earth. On Earth. As I'm showing you, there is no inward thing to the crater. There is no inward track to this crater. All you can see is farmland and buildings on the outskirts of it. So why is there buildings and everything on the outskirts of this thing? You can see green pastoral land behind it. But when you look at this craft, all you can see here is a wall built around it. Why is the wall built around it? Why? It's there to protect the town from this intense heat. Have the English discovered something? Has somewhere in Europe discovered a new type of technology? Or have they discovered a down craft? Or have they, here's the catch, have they done a deal with the devil, basically? Sort of, the old saying goes, it's sort of, yeah, well, they've done a deal, all right, because here they have a support station, and these people are going to and from the moon, and those things look like buildings around there. They don't look like rocks, they look like buildings. and they're going back and forwards to the moon. Here we are in the negative section, and when you look at it in the negative shot, they look like buildings, definitely look like buildings. So here we have a craft that's travelling to and from the Earth, and I'd say on a very regular basis. And this craft is visiting us, it's visiting the moon, it's most probably mining, whatever it's doing, it's benefiting this town so much that this town has given itself to this people or whatever, or the military who have developed this craft. But to me, that's not an Earth base. If we have developed technology or anything like that, and I believe this could be a photonic ship, what I call a photonic ship. They travel on light. They use light to propel themselves. And basically, when you think about it, the propulsion of light, the way light travels, it could be a photonic ship. Why is this ship so bright? Right? Maybe it's the only way they can generate an anti-magnetic force or anti-gravity strong enough to propel themselves away from Earth. Now, when you talk about the way light speed could happen or warp speed, there is a general theory of it where this guy says, well, if you did this and you made it so you pull the space behind it and all this, when you look at the way he's done his diagrams, and again, couldn't get any access to that stuff either, unfortunately, but you can look it up. And it's plenty of videos on it, on the net. And this could be the type of craft that they've done to develop that technology. Now, but to me, I'd say this is more the fact that this is not human built, but it's human supported. This town looks like something, but some of these buildings in that town look different as well. It's like, I don't know if you saw that rounded dome type building in there. There seems to be English buildings, and then there seems to be there's a dome up there with two entrances on it. Yet there's buildings up close to this, and that one building has got a long section and a dome at the end of it. The buildings at the back, they seem to be domes, but they're definitely buildings around this structure, and it seems to be surrounded by trees, a lot of trees. Believe the trees are hiding whatever in this hollow. And the person that discovered this, sort of, I think, fears for his life. And unfortunately, I'd fear for my life if I discovered something like this. I would not want people known that I was the one that discovered the technology and everything. But I'll tell you now, I'm not afraid to put it out there. This is one of the reasons why the New South Wales UFO hotline exists, is to get the truth out there. And as I said, this is one of the few that I've ever published. And the only other ones I've published are ones that I've been rung up about. I've been told they're flying in the air, so I get my own camera out and film them myself, so that I know the footage is genuine. But this one, this one came to light when it was sent to me, and I believe that there is a need for this one to be made public, because of the simple fact, especially now that it's been proven this same spacecraft is on the moon. Now, that image that you saw, there's going to be a link to that image at the bottom of this video, so that you can go and look at both the negative and the positive of this image, and you will see that these spacecraft are exactly the same. And I mean, they are exactly the same. Like, fair enough, the rings may be a bit different, but we can't really see too much. I've tried to negative this image in After Effects, but I haven't had good results yet, and I'm still working on trying to see what I can do. And as I said, like with having the original footage, my copy of it's a bit better than what you're currently seeing, because on the upload I'll lose a bit for some unknown reason. But I'm trying to get a better version of it uploaded. But the thing is, sort of at the moment I'm concentrating on more of what's actually going on. Now notice that funny shaped building just there. Notice the building just on the side of this, whatever this is. And I believe wholly and solely that this is definitely something. Notice that there's a ramp going in. I've actually just noticed that. there's a damn ramp going into where this spacecraft is. And it looks to be like structures on the side of it going into the ramp. So I'd say whatever they do, they take in stuff and bring stuff out, because there's definitely something going on with this. And to me, that ring at the back looks so much like the ring at the back of that other spacecraft on the moon. Now, I know you can't actually physically see the other spacecraft here at the moment. I am going to work on it so that I can get a bit more, when I can chop and cut and paste parts of the images. I'm going to do an image up in Photoshop for number 2 video. And I'm still hoping for permission for JohnLenardWalson to give me permission to use one of his UFO shots in the video, and I'll give him full credit for it, because it was seeing the three. When I saw John's thing, I just had to get another video made, but then I found the other one, and then unfortunately I had been scooped on the other one. And unfortunately that's how life goes. Someone scoops you. With matter images, it's bound to happen. I've scooped a hell of a lot of other people, I suppose, over the time. As images come to light, they get discovered and people discover the same things, or there's so much research out there now that that it does happen, and we all have access to these images. But thank God that I was able to make a connection between a video that I'd already previously done from some footage that I was sent. And yeah, it's basically out there. And the thing is, as I said, if anybody recognises these mountains in the background or knows this town, please tell me. But any pilots flying over and seeing this, if you have a camera, film it, send it to the New South Wales UFO hotline, especially if you get a shot of the craft without it being lit up. Because this says this is either in someone's flight path or, but as I said, look at those buildings. They, to me, look like they're English. They could be anywhere. They could have just simply built this town to support this craft. And there is definitely something going on. As I said, there's trees that go all around this thing, there's farmland, and yet the main road, it leads directly to this hollow where this craft is. Now, when you're looking at it, if you're just driving through or whatever, that could be a blocked off road you don't get access to. As I said, there's trees around it. You may never see what's actually in there. And it's only that someone flew over as they saw this. They saw the light generation coming off this. And I think basically they just got the footage out to everybody they could. So yeah, as you'll see by the next image, that is definitely here on Earth. And it's here on the moon, there on the moon as well. So I'm going to let you make up your own minds, folks. Here is the craft in positive image. There it is in negative image. And you'll see there's a fair bit in the negative image, for a reason that you see a bit more detail. That is the full shot of the image, and you've got to zoom in right to the very top to find it. And it looks like support buildings. Now, as I said, these craft could be all over the moon. The reason why we're just seeing this one, it just happened to be silhouetted because it was on the edge of the moon, thinking they're hiding all the way up there, but because they were silhouetted, it was lit at the time. And the strange thing is, these buildings were lit as well. And they look like buildings. It's sort of, they're definitely, the one in front of it's definitely a building, the one in front of that's definitely a building, and those two are linked that are in front of that. The one's closer to the left-hand side. But look at the ring. As you can see, my little mouth, I'm sort of just going over and showing you the stages of it. Now that's the positive image of it, and that was filmed by Cam Studio as well. And the thing is, as you look at the negative side of it, that ring looks like it moves up and down over that thing actually. It's sort of, or the other ring is part of the spacecraft. Like, I don't know. I'm looking at what evidence I've got. So all you can do is make your own minds up, folks. A spaceport here on the moon and on Earth. So to all you disbelievers out there, and yes, I'm going to address you guys now, this is positive proof. Positive proof. Life exists out there. So if you turn around and say, oh, yeah, bullshit, yeah, you're a troll, whatever, guess what? Your comments aren't going to get put on the air. right? I put out these videos for people that want to believe the truth, that life exists out there. There's life, and this is life. The same spacecraft is visiting Earth. It's visiting the moon. That could be its permanent base on the moon, or it could be just mining. They could be mining craft. We don't know. But all we can say is that's the same spacecraft that I've got. And as I said, if you go to JohnLenardWalson's video, or his latest Star Wars video, the link is at the bottom, you will see clearly that, again, it's a spacecraft. The same spacecraft, taken from a different angle. And you put the three together. Or they could be three different spacecraft, but they have similar technology, and you can tell that via the rings on them. And it could be that. They could be three different spacecraft, but whatever they are definitely similar. They are definitely visiting us because they're on Earth. The veil has been lifted, folks, so yeah, opening craft. I believe the light is basically it generating ready to fly. And whatever that ring type thing is on the back of it, I believe that to be part of its propulsion system. Yes, part of its propulsion system. Why? Because after looking at the ship, now when you look at the JohnLenardWalson video that I've got in there, it's around 3 minutes 30 into his video. It's the only way I can get you to see this video. I'm going to put a direct link to his video. It's in his latest Star Wars video. This craft is over London, UK, which makes me believe that the reason why it's been sighted over London is because this is somewhere within the UK, or definitely within Europe. The type of housing, looking at that type of housing in there, that to me says England. But the cluster of it, the way it's been clustered together, very unusual. It's sort of, but I suppose that could be how the Poms do it, but to here, yeah, that style of housing is definitely European. It's not, definitely not in Australia. It's too green to be in Australia, and the type of housing would be spotted by anybody travelling through the town. I believe this cavity in the ground, and I say cavity because I believe it's been built to protect this craft, and I believe that everybody in this town is in on it, full stop. If anybody knows those mountains, for God's sake, let me know, because the person that sent me the tape sent it. Friends, subscribers, and all you YouTubers out there, and to all the people of the world, I strongly recommend you watch this video all the way to the end. What I'm showing you here is what I originally believed was an alien spaceport. It's not a crater. There's no entrance to a thing. There's no real blow-up. As you can see, it looks like it's protected. The building beside it, right in front of it, is basically has a wall, and it looks like it's inside some kind of a special device to protect the town. I believe this town has been built up wholly and solely to protect this spacecraft. I also believe this is somewhere in the UK. Why? Because if you click on the link to JohnLenardWalson's video, I have been trying to get a copy of the image into this video, but I haven't, at this stage I haven't got it, but I've already actually been scooped on the next part of this video, which I'll show you in a moment. But as you can see, this craft here, it is a craft in that thing, and that town is specially being built for this damn thing, I believe, or they've built this, they've done a deal or whatever with this alien race, or I don't know, I can't tell you, because whatever this is not just on Earth, by the way, and you're going to see that in a minute. The reason why, now if you look at the ship in JohnLenardWalson's video, you'll see the back part of it is very similar to the back part of this Dominion Confidence. I've seen it once before on the net, and basically then it was actually sent to us here at the New South Wales UFO hotline. Originally I thought it was Australia until I saw the housing in it, but after seeing the craft I just said, yeah, it's spaceport, straight up, to me, because there's no impact trail of a craft or anything like that. I've studied the back footage behind it. I've really got in there and looked at it, and there's still just good farmland behind it. What you're seeing there coming off it is not just heat. That is light being generated, and it's basically being reflected up. And I believe this is how